Price.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try to wire it up. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing to keep in mind. And there's some things that
Go ahead. Yep.
All right, so here's how they have it wired up. If we're going to use two power supplies using this power supply, if we're going to use two of these power supplies, we could wire it up just like they have it. We'd have our positive lead here and our negative lead here, and then they'd all tie together right at this current node where R3 is. But with the MIDAC, it's a little bit different because we don't see what's going on inside the MIDAC. So what it really actually turns out to be, so this is going to be our reference point. That's going to be our ground. So now what we're going to do with our MIDAC, we're going to get rid of our actual physical power supply. We can get rid of this wire here and this. And then what we're going to do, coming out of the op amp, but when I talk about A000, I'm talking about coming out of the op amp, not coming right out of A000. But come out of your op amp so you can get enough current. So this is going to hook up right up to A000, and then it's going to be, this voltage is going to be set at your positive 5 volts. And on the other one then, this one's going to hook up to your A0-1, your channel 1. And that one's going to be set up for your positive 10 volts. Then all you have to do is just take one wire and bring this up over to your A ground. And that's what your circuit looks like if you're using it in the MIDAC. So if you got your MIDAC, then what it looks like would be, if we're looking inside the MIDAC, and we have our A0, and we got our wire coming out, we got that set up to 5 volts. And then we have our A ground. That one's going to go right over to that resistor. So that would be the one power supply. So internally, then what it looks like is that, so when we set up our A000, the power supply is built inside of our MIDAC. So we don't physically see the power supply, but it looks like that. It would be like the power supply is inside there. So then you end up with that same original circuit that we had, but since the power supply is built inside the MIDAC, we don't see that, we don't see the symbol of the power supply anymore. And so, but internally it looks just like what it would be. Let me move this down so you can see a little bit better. So that's what it looks like. So this is internally. We can't see what's going on in there. But what we're going to do is we're just going to come out of our channel 0, set it for 5 volts, bring our A ground, and all we have to do is do it once, and then bring it over to here. So for example, if I had my A01, it's kind of a long way, wouldn't it? It'd come up right out of there. And that would be the same thing. That would have another and this one here would have its own power supply. That's going, so that's what it looks like internally. So we're doing it the same way, we just see it differently. And that's what we run into all the time when we're out in the industry, is that the symbol might show it as being the source of using like a battery or something like that, but when we're going through our virtual instruments or our MIDAC or any data acquisition, that's all inside there. We don't really see what's going on. But that's exactly, it's being wired up the same way, it's just configured differently. We don't see that. So all we see is, so all we see is this. This is all we need to do. And just know that everything else is done internally. But that's what your circuit should look like, just as simple as that. Okay? So then when it comes time to put your short in there, what you're going to do then is you're going to disconnect your power supply. If you tell you to disconnect the power supply, so you're going to disconnect your power supply, and then just run a short right from there to ground. Okay? Then you hook that power supply, hook this power supply back up. Hook that one back up, and then you're going to do the same thing with this one. Then you're going to disconnect this power supply, and then run a short over to there. And then you're going to be looking at, what do I see? You know, how does this power supply? Remember, it's referenced, still it's referenced to A ground, we just don't see it. But we know that it's going to be on this side of the power supply, for power supply number 1, it's going to see R1 in series with R2, which is in parallel with R3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you need to do. So it is the same circuit, it just looks different when we wired it up. So when we wire it up, it looks just like, that's all you have to do. It's just, you're going to just have the 3 resistors making it into a T, hook up your positive 5 volts on one, hook up positive 10 volts on the other, and you have the exact same circuit. All right, so give that a try.
Great.
Break. Huddled over with thank you.
Kurt,
Yeah.
next time somebody asks, tell them to go to YouTube. It's recorded on.
Oh, that's right.
60 minutes of it.
Yeah. Is your camera off now? Oh.
Oh, no, I don't.
I can start swearing and cussing.